Hi everyone, and welcome to Jim Vernon Solutions, the Learn HTML series using w3schools.com. I'm at the w3schools.com homepage, and I'm going to click on Learn HTML. That enters us into the HTML tutorial, and I will just give a quick overview of what's in the tutorial for this one. First thing you'll see is that there are a lot of pieces to this tutorial. You can scroll down the left and see whole bunch of different ideas within HTML, and then some subcategories of HTML forms and graphics, HTML media, HTML APIs. I don't even know what those are yet. I sort of do. HTML examples sounds helpful, and HTML references. Once we know HTML, or once we've got a basic understanding, the reference is going to be extremely helpful. So you've got all those pieces to the tutorial, and it turns out you can click on any one of them and just go directly there. So if we wanted to understand about headings, if we had a particular interest, we could just come to that part of the tutorial, and we can move in any order essentially. If you use the next button, it's going to take you to the next piece of the tutorial. The other thing I wanted to point out about navigation can get a little bit confusing. Once we're in a particular part, so this is the home of the HTML tutorial, we're obviously going to want to see, well, what's the lesson here? So we can read through this. But the other thing we can see is that there's a try it yourself feature. I'm going to come back to that in just a second. I'll show you the rest of the page. We've also got some examples. We can go directly to some related examples or exercises, and there's even a quiz, and then the references below. So there's sort of different ways to navigate through this. I want to navigate to the try it yourself though to show you something. This is kind of the crux of how to learn within W3 Schools, and within the HTML tutorial. If we click on this, first thing you might not have noticed is it opens a new tab. We can always get back to where we were just by going to the previous tab, but it opened a new tab, and I've got a few settings that I happen to prefer, but and one of those is that I like to have the code backlit, if you will, or dark background. Mostly because of the color coding of the tags, and this is also helpful in picking up some of the coding that W3 Schools will also be able to teach you. So you can toggle this on and off using this dark light button. You can also change the orientation to where the HTML is at the top, and this other window is actually what the web page looks like based on that HTML. So you can change the orientation from horizontal to vertical. I think I prefer horizontal most of the time, but again, it's personal preference, and I prefer dark light, but you can do whatever you want with those. You can also get to those in the menu. You can see that you're allowed to save your code. I don't generally do that. You can save it to Google Drive. You can load from Google Drive, but your change orientation and change theme are also in this menu. If you want to, you could go to the W3 Schools home with this button, and I'll show you that just briefly. But the fact is, we're on a new tab, so I'm just going to close the tab. If I want to go back to where I was in the tutorial, right? This is the HTML home, and this is how the try it yourself works. You're going to see that try it yourself in just about every piece of the tutorial. And as I said, it's kind of the crux of the learning experience. So that's all I have about the first part of the HTML tutorial, and we'll pick it up with introduction in the next series, in the next video.